These are my top 3 most beautiful roof designs for castles that I'm going to show you how to build. Ever since I started building my first castle back in 2021, I never felt satisfied with how I did my roofs. It was never fitting for a castle in my eyes. They were okay for that time and were the foundation of something better. So I kept that blueprint and reused it and evolved it over time after each Valheim update until I made my top 3 roof designs that I think are great for castles. Here is design 1 for round towers with a rounded top. This design depends on the structure layout being an octagon shape. This layout is 4 meters wide for each side. Starting from the top of our supposed tower here, I started using darkwood or ashwood arch, snapping them between the sides. They are not parallel with any of the sides and they all point to the exact center of the structure. Next, I placed 2 45-degree beams and then 2 26-degree beams to create the skeleton of the roof going to the middle to make the roof look a bit rounded with a low peak to place items like this on top. I then use regular beams to go around connecting the ends of the 45-degree beams to make it easy to place the roof pieces in. Once done, the roof pieces can be added starting from the sides first, then the middle for the bottom. Finally, we add a 1 meter beam to the end of each 45-degree beam all around, then a 26-degree beam snapped to the end of the 1 meter beam. Once done, this is how your roof should turn out. The steps followed to do this roof is the foundation for the next design, the steep pointy round tower roof design. This time I'm using a smaller tower with 2 meters width for each side. To get the roof to this point is just the same as the previous tower. I did with a few adjustments because of the size of the tower. Place 1 meter ashwood pole on top of each 45-degree beam. Then use the door, set the manual snapping point for the door to 2 or 4. The door should be parallel to the angle beam and positioned going towards the center like this. Then snap a 1 meter ashwood to the center of the door. It should touch the 1 meter ashwood below. Do this until all the pieces meet in the middle. You can place another door on the first door you put on the pole so that you can place more poles before moving the door. You will need iron support from the ground up to support the middle of the roof so it doesn't collapse and it has enough support to place a banner. Fill the middle with the roof pieces to provide cover inside the tower, then use ashwood half walls to snap to the 1 meter poles to the point it is unnecessary. It should turn out like this. Then for the ends, to make the beam stand out more, place a 1 meter beam at the end of each 45-degree beams, then the door at the end. Next, snap another 45-degree beam to the point that is closest to the roof, then snap a 26-degree beam to the end of the 1 meter wood. And that is it for the roof for design 2. Roof design 3, square tower roof. The layout of the square tower is a 6 meter by 6 meter box. This can be done on rectangle structures, but more on that later. Starting with the arch piece, place 4 darkwood arch on the 4 corners of the tower. Do 2 tick rotations and place the arch as seen here. For a square, it should be pointing to the center, but if you want to try this for a rectangle structure, it is possible. Basically, you do the same thing, but there is no center to point to, but it is always 2 tick rotation. Place 45-degree beams at the end of each archwood parallel to the arch and pointing towards the structure. Next, place regular beams connecting the ends of the arches, starting from the ends first and meet in the middle. Do this for all the sides. Place 1 meter beams at the end for each side to create a snapping point so that you can place 45-degree roof pieces 1 meter away from the end. Following what I am doing here, grab your door and set the snapping point for the door to one of the corner snapping points and snap it in here. The door should be parallel to the angle beams. Next, grab an ashwood half wall. If you did the steps correctly, then you should be able to snap at the end of the door like what I am doing here. Repeat the steps on the opposite side of the tower. For the remaining sides, you can easily snap the ashwood to the same snap points available. Place a 1 meter ashwood on top of each 45-degree angle beam. Next, use the door similar to the steps on the second roof design to create the snapping point for the next 1 meter ashwood until you have 11 1 meter poles stacked in total for each points. Then connect the top with regular ashwood beams. For rectangular structures, this is how it would turn out. To ensure that the middle section of the roof for all sides to be supported properly, place a half wall here and snap the gray stone over it. Do this all around so that it touches the roof. Next, place the roofs in the middle to provide coverage inside the tower. It doesn't have to look pretty because you won't see it. Then finish it off by adding the ashwood half walls completing the roof. Then for the ends, to make the beams stand out more, place a 1 meter beam at the end of each 45-degree beams. Next, place the door at the end of the 1 meter wood, followed by snap another 45-degree beam to the point that is closest to the roof, then snap a 26-degree beam to the end of the 1 meter wood. And that is it. Those are my top 3 most beautiful roof designs for castles. I hope this was helpful to make your next project easier. If it was, remember to leave a like to support the channel. Thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for keeping the channel going, and thank you for watching. And remember to always aspire to inspire. Peace.